Alright, hey, Smog here, and it's been a long time since I shot a video about the Black Widow Galant VR4, but here it is in my driveway, and I honestly have not been driving it all that much, right? So the last thing that happened to it is it got into a crash, alright? Well, somebody crashed into it, and I had the rear subframe replaced, and I installed a active tow eliminator so we can adjust the alignment so it goes back in the spec. All right, and I've been driving it ever since then, and you know, like I said, not that much, and it's been fine. All right, so it just kind of creaky, so I'll say. All right, anyway, so what I got going on here is smog check. All right, so we do a biannual or 2-year smog check, and we're gonna go smog this car. So this car it's an old car, so you have to but you don't have to run it on the dyno because it's all-wheel drive, unlike the Eclipse. But the last time I went there, they told me, oh, you can't have these gauges. Like he tells me every time, you can't have the gauges and you can't have the turbo timer. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm removing the turbo timer. I've taken it out of this, all right, off of here. So my plan is to just hide it, all right. We're gonna hide the turbo timer back there somewhere, and then yeah, so they out of sight, out of mind type of thing, all right. At least they won't see the gauge, all right. I heard that if you take it to a ref or something and they see all these gauges, aftermarket gauges and stuff, and turbo timer, like they think that a turbo timer will, you know, affect your emissions or something. It doesn't. All it is an ignition timer, man. That's all it does, dude. And this is the old school one too. All right. So anyway, I'm in the process of taking it out. I used the heat gun to heat up the adhesive for the this guy. All right. The adhesive is really good, man. This shit never came off for how long I had it on there. And my plan is to put it on with Velcro. All right. So when we put it back, we'll Velcro it on. That way I don't have to keep on, you know, putting this stuff back on. All right, it won't be permanent. You can take it out, and it's a lot of stuff. Like the whole bottom of the car is taken out. All right, so yeah, that's what I got going on right now. So you might be wondering, yeah, where's the gauge pod? Well, there's the gauge pod. All right, I took the boost gauge out. We don't need the boost gauge, isn't critical, so all I did was like take the hose and I stuck a vacuum cap on it. All right, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, it's right there. See, so there's a vacuum cap right here. So hopefully, hopefully when that goes under boost, it doesn't pop that out. I hope not. All right. And then I've had the. So one thing we do need is we do need this. All right. We need the oxygen sensor, or the O2, the air fuel ratio gauge, because this is our air fuel ratio, or this is our oxygen sensor. Right. The oxygen sensor is hooked up to this. This is the one that controls it right now. So if I take it out, then the oxygen sensor won't work and it won't send a signal to the ECU, and then the car will run like dookie. All right, so we have to have that in there. So what I did is I took the speaker gauge pod out, all right, and we'll just put it back in just like that. When we put it back in, I just put like a Velcro here and it just comes right out. So, and then I'm gonna hide it with the dash mat, all right, like I had it before. All right, so there it is. It's hooked up and it runs. So one of the things I noticed, what I realized was, so I'm just gonna hide it like that, out of sight, out of mind, right? You won't see a gauge there, so you don't have to mess around with that. You can fix this mat a little bit. All right, and then when you put it back, all we have to do is just flip that. So, so there's that. And then I realized if I take the turbo timer out, I have the turbo timer freaking hooked up to the harness. All right, the ignition wire harness. I wired it to there. Why Hayesbig did that, I don't know. But if I disconnect the turbo timer, I lose power for the oxygen sensor, or the air fuel ratio sensor, the wideband, and then yeah, same story. Like it won't power on, and then there won't be a signal sent to the ECU, and then the car will run like crap. Okay, so that's the scoop. We're gonna leave it in here. It may make a beeping sound when it turns on, but I think it'll be fine. So anyway, so that's what I got going on here. I'm trying to take this off. Other stuff that I did is let's check it out. This actually fits nicely in there. You can put that in. Too bad it doesn't go, it's not pointing the other way. can actually put this right here. This would actually be a great place to have the gauge too. Yeah. So other stuff that I did to, I think the timing is already fine. I don't have to mess around with that. But the other thing I did is I removed the oil filter catch can, all right, that I have on the breather hose that goes to the intake. So I took that out. Other than that, there's nothing else we need to mess around with. I cleaned that up. It was a little nasty looking, and yeah, the car runs pretty good. So, and I charged the battery. So, what we could probably do is change the spark plugs, but I think it'll be fine. And then maybe clean the air filter, but we'd have to take all that. We'd have to unscrew that canister and take the air filter out. But yeah, it passed last time with the 3G MAF, so we're leaving it. So yeah, that's the scoop. So that's all I got going on. We're trying to hide all the gauges, and once that's done, yeah, we'll smog it, and then I put it all back, and that'll just be my ritual every freaking 2 years. Hide the top turbo timer behind something. We'll probably hide it. We'll either hide it behind this. All right, this is the cover for down here, or we'll hide it back here. Maybe I'll just hide it back here. Yeah. It looks like it'll reach. Look how far it goes. It's got a good amount of reach. So, and then that way, if I want to mess around with it, I can stick my hand in here. I'll probably put this cover thing here. I don't know. But out of sight, out of mind, right? That's the idea. Anyway, so in the next video, I'll let you guys know what happened for the smog check. Okay, but yeah, it's just going to be like this. We won't have the boost gauge, and then when we're done, we'll put this back. Connect the boost gauge, put the O2 sensor, the AF ratio gauge back, and then we'll probably have to take this bottom part off again, and then put this on top here, and then I'm going to use a Velcro or a hook and loop fastener up here to mount it from now on. And then whenever I want to take it off, we just peel it off, piece of cake, right? And then yeah, and then that's it. So really not much has happened to this car. I drive it every once in a while. It's the winter time is coming. All right, it's fall right now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to driving the Galant again. Whenever I'm not driving my RAV4, I drive this in the winter time. I took the clips out yesterday because I had all this stuff out though. So, and I am getting my supercharged MR2 back. So. Look forward to videos on that project. I got another project car that I don't really want back, but I kind of am excited to get it back. Okay, so that's a scoop. That's what I got going on. Yeah, when I get everything back together, I'll show you what it looks like, and yeah, and then Hazy Mega will drive it around for a little while. I'll try to get some fresh. Yeah, I'll drive it around until the gas goes down, and then I want to put a fresh tank of gas in there. Because I'm sure this gas is like super expensive right now. It was more than $5 a gallon for premium, so kind of sucks. But the gas prices are starting to go down, so I will be trying to drive this car a little bit more until we can go through most of the gas. It's still got a little, it's almost got like a quarter tank, so I think we'll be okay. Maybe when it gets down to close to E, we'll put a full tank in, and then we'll drive it around a little more, and then we'll go smog it. It should pass. It passed last time, so I don't see any reason why it wouldn't pass this time. I didn't really drive it all that much, so. All right, here's my go. Okay, so there she is. Minus the steering wheel. I'm gonna put the steering wheel back on. But yeah, so you can't see turbo timer. I think this should be up. I'm not really sure what. I'll mess around with it when I put the steering wheel back. All right, but everything is back on there. All right, the O2 sensor is hidden under here. All right, the turbo timer is hidden under there. All right, I couldn't get it under here, guys. I took this panel out, this little kick panel out, and there's like no room to get it under. Now, if I took the turbo timer out, I disconnected the harness and I fed the harness this way, I could probably do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So. Believe it or not, there's actually not a lot of room back there, man. It's just enough room to get the stereo in there. So, yeah. So that's a scoop. You can't see the turbo timer at all. I mean, it would be cool to hide it under here. I could probably do that if I cut this, but That's what I want to be able to use a turbo timer. I use it as a speedometer, so now I have to kind of guess how fast I'm going. I think it's like 15 miles an hour over or something. But if you look in there enough, it's in there somewhere. Let's turn the car on. Oops, the washer's up. Okay, but everything's in there. All right, and okay, you can kind of see you can see a blue glow in there. That's the turbo timer. And then so the car should turn off. I had it before I put it in there. I made sure to set it to auto time, so so it'll still count. It'll still add time to the timer, the more RPM that you have. But when you turn the car off, it should turn off right away. Okay, so the turbo timer will only turn on if you drive the car hard. So unless you try to turn it off after the dyno, you know, I don't think it'll add a lot of time on there. So you will hear it count down though, also. So probably won't, yeah. I'll be like, what the heck, man? But yeah, let's fire it up. Okay, fires up, runs fine. Check engine light should go away. And there's our turbo time. There's our air fuel ratio gauge. All right, the light doesn't have to be on. Okay, there it is. It's doing 14.7 right now. Perfect. All right, good. Good turbo time. My stereo still works, as you can see. And yeah, you can't see any gauges in here, so I've kind of sanitized the interior. Really don't need the gauges anyways. Once everything is all tuned up right, I could make the boost higher on this car, I think. All right, as long as you don't run out of fuel, the turbo timer. But I've had it set to like 14, 15 psi, and I think that's fine. I'm not gonna mess around with that. Yeah, it works fine. All right, the lights all work and everything. Cool. So, all right, yeah. The only thing you'll see is like a blue glow in there. That's the only way you'll know there's a turbo timer in there. I'll have to drive it around for a little bit to see, you know, if there's any issues with it there, but I think it'll be fine. All right, you can't use it as a gauge anymore. Smog has to figure out. I think we're 15 miles an hour fast. Okay, guys, 15 miles an hour. All right, so I got to add 15 to whatever, you know, so at 65 we're going 50 or something. So you don't need to know how fast you're going. Hey, Smog, just follow the cars in front of you. Okay, yeah, but the turbo timer is specifically calibrated like to the GPS, so it's perfect. So yeah, when we put it back, we'll put the Velcro here. All right, and then we'll just slap it back on there. I think we're gonna have to take this bottom part out. Okay, this bottom part will have to come out, and then all we got to do is fish it around here and then just plop it back on there. So I won't even need to take this out anymore when we do that, and so that'll work. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, and then yeah, we'll just clean up the interior a little bit. It's a little bit dirty in here. Yeah, that's good. Everything's good though. So here's what the outside of the car looks like, man. It's in dire need of a paint job, guys. And it needs a wash big time. There's like dirt everywhere. I can only imagine when this sunroof starts leaking, it's gonna be awful, because the Eclipse, the sunroof is leaking, and I can't fix it, man. I don't know. I cleaned all the fucking drains and everything, and yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe one of the hoses popped out of the drain or something. I'm not sure, man. But yeah, maybe I'll have to take it to like a sunroof specialist and have them clean it out or something, man, because I've done everything I can do. So, but yeah, that's what it looks like when we're done taking everything out. And then when we put it back, you'll just see the gauge right here. All right, it's pretty cool. It's pretty slick. You can't really see it there. It's hidden away pretty well. All right, and then hopefully they don't see that. But we'll have to mess around with that. No boost gauge. Hopefully there's no boost leaks. All right, but yeah, you definitely don't want any boost leaks. That will make your car run like doo-doo. All right, at least a vacuum leak. Okay, yeah. So okay, so the next video, I will have smogged it, and I'll let you guys know how it turned out. You know, if the Smog guy complained anything about the gauges, we're gonna have to do the same thing to the Eclipse next year. So The Eclipse is going to be a little harder because the gauge pod is a little like right here, you know. So we're going to have to take this thing out, put the stock one back on. So we'll do the same thing. We'll take the boost gauge out, and then we'll, you know, we'll hide this guy somehow. I don't know where we're going to hide it. Probably just behind the dash or something. It's not critical. The car runs good, so yeah, that's the scoop. She's still running. She's still running. This car runs great, guys. All right. It still has a problem starting when it yeah, when you shut it off, and then you turn it back on a few minutes later, it doesn't want to start. You have to give it some gas to get it to start. But other than that, it runs great, man. Yeah, I just don't drive it enough. Okay, so until in the next video, you guys will know the results of the smog test. Hopefully it passes. Should pass. All right, here's Miguel. We'll make sure that cat's nice and hot. By the way, if we were to take this to a ref, I don't know if it would pass. If they had a picture of what the engine bay should look like, this engine bay does not look anything like a stock Galant VR4 anymore. It looks much better than a stock Galant VR4, in my opinion. The battery's supposed to be where the airbox is. The airbox is supposed to be where the battery is, so there's supposed to be some other stuff back there, like stuff. So. But this has everything to pass smog, so should be fine. And it runs good. Alright guys, it's a kind of cloudy day in mid-November, and guess what? Galant VR4 pass smog. Haha, there we go. Alright, so this is just an update to the video, the smog video. Alright, let's check out how well it did. It did really good. It's funny, the guy that smogged it, he said like, yeah, you only drove this car 600 miles since the last time you smogged it. I'm like, yeah, probably. I did wash it too. It's nice and clean now. Pardon this, I don't know, there's some kind of freaking sewage truck up there making noise, but yeah, so there it is. It's clean for now, and it's gonna rain, so, but at least the rain won't make the, you know, it all dirty and stuff. So yeah, the paint's in real bad shape, guys. I don't know what to do. Needs a paint job badly, but I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. Anyway, yeah, so it passed smog just fine. Like I said, I took the gauges out and everything. He didn't say anything about it this time. Like every time he tells me like, oh, you gotta take those gauges out, man. Like we can't smog it with that crap. But yeah, I had that, like I said, I had that gauge right here. So we're gonna put all that back, and then we're gonna put the turbo timer back here. So yeah, pretty cool. It passes with all that stuff anyways. All I did was hide it, you know. So here's the results. Okay. Okay, so there's the juicy bits right there. For the sniffer test, okay, one was at 800 RPM and the other is at 2500. If you guys don't know, in California, if you have an all-wheel drive car, you do the 2-speed idle test. You don't do the dyno test. Okay. That's the oxygen measured. So in the first test we got a 22, the average is 29. We're below average. That's actually really good. All right, and then the second test, the higher speed test, we got an 18 and the average is 20. So car's running good, guys. And then for the CO, it was a 0 measured. All right, and then 0.04, well below average for this CO. So the mixture is good. The tune is really good on this car. I have to thank the dude that burned the chip for this car. It worked really well. Okay, and then it passed all the visual stuff. All right, so there you go. Black Widow Galant VR4 passed smog again. Like I said, it was only 600 miles since the last smog. That's what he told me. Yeah. So it passed with all the stuff on it, you know. It's got a front mount. I don't know what. It's got like a kind of goofy intake system. It's got an intake system. It's got a blow-off valve, but it's recirculated. It has a bigger turbo, small 16G turbo. What else? Oh, we're running Evo injectors. So we're running the Evo injectors. All right, yeah. So it's got bigger injectors. It's got a chip to compensate for those injectors, and it also has a 3G MAF is what it has. So pass with all that stuff. So cool. So that means it's good to go. I'll go put the we'll put the turbo timer back. I will Velcro it back onto the little center console thing, because I use that thing as my speedometer, you know. And then we'll put the gauge cup back. And then business as usual. I don't know what we're gonna do about this car, but I'll try to drive it more during the winter time. Gas is getting a little cheaper now, and we're able to and it's cooler now, so that's the good thing. I want to try to drive it more in the winter time. This is my winter car, so right. The Eclipse, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm getting another project car, man. I hate to say it, dude. I kind of forced to take it. I'm getting a project car back, is what's gonna happen. So look forward to that. Vlogs about that. All right, but Black Widow Galant VR4 still kicking, man. I saved it from getting salvaged and everything, and yeah, all it needs is you know, have the frame straightened, paint the car, and then I got some kind of creaking noise back there. I think there's something wrong with the suspension, or something back there is all messed up. So I got to figure out what that noise is. It could be the shock absorber or something. I don't know. I've been looking and looking. I can't find anything wrong with it. So, but it bothers me a lot. All right. Thanks for watching. Hazewig out. Also, we rolled over 155,000 miles today. Good job, buddy. Oh yeah. Also, I made sure to put a fresh tank of gas in before. I probably had a little less than half when I filled it up. So most of the gas in the gas tank is fresh. So I wanted to make sure it had some fresh gasoline, not some old ass gas. All right. Okay, also, if you're wondering how much it costs to smog this car, it was like 95 bucks, man. It's like $80 for the smog check and like $15 for the certificate or something. And then it's gonna cost me $150 to register this, because I live in freaking California, where registration is super expensive. For like a car that I only drive like 300 miles a year or something. Yeah, we need to drive this car more. It's like kind of, yeah. Also, another thing is, like, yes, I did smog it, and that means I can sell it really easy now, because you have to have a smog check to sell it. Yeah, you know. And yeah, if I wanted to sell the Galant right now, I could. That's what I want to say. But I would like to keep this car. It's really unique, and I like driving it. The only thing is, it doesn't have AC, so I don't drive it in the summertime. So that's the plan. I plan to kind of keep it. I don't know what we're gonna do with the Eclipse. The Eclipse needs all sorts of crap, and then I got this other project car. So I think I might wind up selling the Eclipse. And then there's always the I want to sell the Galant, sell the Eclipse, and just buy an Evo Merlin. So for that, I was thinking, if I did do that, you would have a car that's OBD2 compliant, and it's a newer car, more than 2,000. It'd be easier and cheaper to smog. As long as you don't put too many mods on it, it should be fine, you know. So I don't know what to do. All right.